Welcome to the Explainer. Ever feel like you're drowning in all the tools and concepts for Java test automation? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to cut right through all that noise and give you a super clear blueprint for mastering this skill.
You know, in today's world of just constant development, this is the million-dollar question every single tech company is trying to figure out. The pressure to deliver fast is huge, but you just can't let quality slip.
And the answer, really, is building smarter, more intelligent automation. And to do that, you need an engine, a powerful language that can handle all that complexity. And for so many of the top companies out there, that engine is Java.
All right, let's just dive right in. Here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to start with the why, then get into the core building blocks, look at some pro-level patterns, check out the toolkit, and then finish up with the secrets to long-term success.
So first things first, let's build our foundation. Why is Java the go-to choice for so many of these high-level automation jobs? Look, it's not just because it's popular. Java gives you some real, concrete advantages. It's platform independent, so you write your tests once and they can run literally anywhere. It has strong typing, which is kind of like having a spell checker for your code, catching bugs before they become a massive headache. And the huge community and libraries mean you're focused on writing great tests, not reinventing the wheel.
Okay, now let's get our hands dirty. Let's look at the actual building blocks you're going to use every single day when you're putting your tests together.
The best way to think about object-oriented programming, or OOP, is like building with Legos instead of, say, Play-Doh. It's all about making these reusable, well-defined blocks of code that you can just snap together to build really complex tests, instead of ending up with this one big, messy blob of code that's impossible to manage. And yeah, this shows it perfectly. Instead of writing your browser setup code in every single test, you just create one base test class. Then your other tests, like the login tests here, can just inherit all that setup. It's a game changer for not having to write the same code over and over again.
You know, a great test framework isn't just about what works. It's about how gracefully it handles what doesn't. Because believe me, unexpected errors are going to happen.
This little try-catch block you see here, it's an absolute lifesaver. Without it, one single element that's missing from a web page could bring your entire test run to a screeching halt. But with it, the error gets handled, it gets logged, and the rest of your test can keep on running. That right there is the difference between a fragile framework and a truly robust one.
Okay, let's level up. Now we're going to look at how we can use proven design patterns as the actual architectural blueprints for a really smart test framework.
All right, the single most important pattern you're going to run into is the Page Object Model, or POM. This is all about organization. It separates what your test is trying to do from how it actually clicks and types on the web page.
Now this is where it gets really cool. This shows a login page class. All the locators, the IDs for the username field, the login button, they're all defined right here in one spot. So if a designer changes that login button's ID tomorrow, you only have to update it in this one file. Think about that. Without this, you could be hunting through hundreds of files. This approach can save you days of work.
And it doesn't stop with POM. Other patterns give you even more power. The singleton pattern, well, that's like having just one key to your house. It makes sure you only have one browser instance running, which saves resources. The factory pattern is like a car factory. You just tell it you want a Chrome or a Firefox browser, and it builds one for you. And the strategy pattern is like switching between different map apps. You can swap between reading your test data from a spreadsheet or a database without having to rewrite your whole test.
So, with our blueprints in hand, it is time to pick up the power tools, the frameworks and libraries that are going to bring this whole automation strategy to life.
You are going to be working with testing frameworks all the time, and this table just breaks down the two giants. JUnit is simple, it's great for unit tests. But TestNG, it comes with more advanced features right out of the box, like easy parallel execution and powerful data providers, which makes it the go-to for really complex end-to-end test suites.
Let's be real, managing all the different libraries in a project can be a total nightmare. That's where build automation tools like Maven or Gradle come in. Think of them as a project manager for your code. They handle all the dependencies, they compile your project, they run your tests, all automatically, so you can just focus on writing amazing automation. And this structure you're looking at here, this isn't just a friendly suggestion. It's pretty much the professional standard. Separating your code into packages for pages and tests and utilities is what keeps these huge projects clean and easy for the whole team to work on.
Okay, finally, let's talk about the secrets to not just writing tests, but writing tests that are actually easy to maintain and are built to last a long, long time.
These best practices are really what separate the amateur scripts from the professional, resilient automation frameworks. So always use POM. Never, ever hard code your test data. Create helper utilities for common things. And this is so important. Write flexible locators and use intelligent weights.
This right here is a huge takeaway. Flaky tests, the ones that pass sometimes and fail other times for no clear reason, they're the absolute enemy of automation. And the number one cause is timing issues. So instead of telling your script to just blindly wait 5 seconds, you tell it to wait until this button is clickable. Building these smart, explicit waits is the key skill for creating tests you can actually rely on.
So, we've covered the foundation of why you'd use Java, the blueprints of the design patterns, and the power tools you'll need. You now have the mental map to go out and start building your own expertise. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?